impacted a lot more than we are. Well, not really, because we've been sending money, but with the war in Ukraine and Russia. So the United States has been sending trillions of dollars to this war, this proxy war that now Biden escalated so that he can leave a real mess for Trump when he comes into office. But in Ukraine, I don't know. Ronnie, since you're an intelligence expert, you were in the CIA, you were an advisor in Kabul and in Afghanistan for their security. Do you see an end to this war anytime soon? The war in Ukraine, I mean?
Well, Trump came with a strong promise that he will end it up soon. How soon can he end it? Hard to say, very hard to say, because again, Biden is escalating a lot now. He's trying to make a mess for Trump, to make it harder for him to get a peace process. But we need to understand that the best weapon that Trump can do to end this war, or the best tool he has, is just cutting the money line to Zelensky. I mean, we need to understand Ukraine is one of the most corrupt, if not the most corrupt country in Europe. Everybody is stealing over there, everything. Only God knows where the money that we send really ends up. I mean, only God knows how Zelensky and his people is using this money for their own enrichment. So if he cuts the money, this war is going to end. Not in one day, but maybe in a couple of months. Maybe they will understand that he needs to negotiate in a realistic way. Ukraine needs to negotiate with realistic goal. Listen, this war was supposed to end as soon as it began. This war was supposed to end in April of 2022, 6 weeks after it began. That was the goal. They were sitting, the Russians and the Ukrainians, they were sitting in Turkey. They were in Turkey in March of 2022, and in April of 2022, they were very close to finish the war, to end the war. They were about to sign an agreement. Hey, let's going to do this, let's going to end the war. And what Putin and Russia were asking was very little. They were asking for little. Give freedom to the Ukrainians on the south and the east, and be a neutral country. Don't join NATO. Be a neutral buffer between NATO and Russia, a neutral country in the middle. People need to understand there are two Ukraines. The Ukraines in the north and the west, they hate Russia. They are mostly, they have mostly a Polish heritage. The grandparents, great-grandparents are from Poland. It's a big chunk of Poland was taken away from Poland and given to this Frankenstein country that we call now Ukraine. So the people of the north and the west, they hate Russia, they don't like Russia, they don't speak Russian, they don't have family in Russia, they are mostly Polish descendants, etc. So they don't care at all about Russia, and they are always looking into the European Union, into Poland, etc. But listen, there is another Ukraine, that the Ukraine that CNN doesn't mention, the Ukraine that the media don't mention, okay? The Ukraine of the south and the east. The Ukrainians of the south and the east have absolutely nothing in common with the Ukrainians of the north and the west. The south and the east Ukrainians, they do speak Russian as their first language. They have family in Russia. They consider themselves Russians. They see Ukraine as historical part of Russia. They belong to the Russian Orthodox Church, or to the Ukrainian version of the Russian Orthodox Church, loyal to the Patriarch of Moscow. They have absolutely nothing in common with the Ukrainians of the north and the west. The propaganda media wants you to believe, want all of us to believe, that the Ukrainians are all the same, and they all hate Russia, and they all want to go into the European Union and legalize homosexual marriage and legalize what feminism and whatever, and transgender and secular society. Like they want to be like European Union with the rainbow flag. That's BS. Only the Ukrainians of the North and the West look towards the European Union and Poland, etc. The Ukrainians, millions of them, of the South and the East, they look towards Russia, and they always have been. They are Novorossiya. They are historical part of Russia for hundreds and hundreds of years. Listen, there are people in Hawaii that feel very much American, and they want to remain a state, and they are loyal to the United States and to Washington. But there are also people in Hawaii, the native people of Hawaii, that they consider Hawaii an independent nation and an occupied land and whatever. So it's something that we have. And there is an independent movement in Alaska, and there is an small, of course, but there is. And even in Texas, there is a kind of an independent movement in Texas. So listen, the difference between the concept in their minds of what Ukraine is, between the people of the South and the East and the people of the North and the West, is absolutely nothing. Now, if Trump cuts the money, and we have spent over $200 billion dollars to Ukraine of our taxpayer for nothing, because this war cannot be won by Ukraine. Now, Biden have been a desperate move. Have been doing desperate moves. They have been giving long range missiles to Ukraine to use in Russia. They have been trying to send $60 billion more on top of the $200 billion. He's desperate trying to send that before Trump take office. And obviously all of Europe and Germany, who is a puppet, Scholz is a puppet of Biden, and Macron too, and Johnson, they all want to keep pumping European money. And I forgot to mention, the reason why this war did not end in April of 2022, okay, in Turkey, when they were very close to end it after 6 weeks. 6 weeks. This was a war was supposed to last 6 weeks, not 3 years. That is about to last now 3 years. It was supposed to end 5-6 weeks after it started in Turkey in April of 2022. And the reason why they did not sign the peace agreement is because Biden said no, gave an order to Zelensky not to sign. And he sent Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the UK, of the United Kingdom, in a desperate trip to Kyiv to talk to Zelensky, the comedian, and tell him, do not sign. Don't sign peace. We don't want you to sign peace. We're going to give you hundreds of billions of dollars and weapons and intelligence, and so you can win. And oh, really? I want to win. Yeah, I want to win. Yeah. And the poor naive man believed that he can beat Russia. He took Biden's word and Johnson's word at face value. The poor man didn't realize that he cannot beat Russia.
Wrong. I listen.
Mexico cannot beat the United States.
Right.
Yeah. Wrong. I listened to the interview that Tucker Carlson did with Lavrov, and Tucker Carlson asked Lavrov, right, if the war in Ukraine was against the United States, and Lavrov said no, the war is against Ukraine. But I'm gonna ask you a question: what is gonna happen with the best salesman in war history after the war ends?
What is gonna happen with what?
With the best salesman, Zelensky.
Oh.
This is what Trump says. No, Zelensky is the best salesman in the war. Every time he visits the United States, he goes back with $60 billion.
Zelensky have a emergency fund. Out of the $200 billion that we have sent, soon $260 billion that Biden wants to send. He wants to send additional $60 billion. And out of that, I'm sure that he have a few million or dozens of millions that he separate and are lost in the accounting. And he's going to take a big bag of millions of dollars and, okay, bye-bye, I did my job.
After he pays commission, I'm sure.
Maybe he's coming to Miami Beach.
Is he going to end up living in Florida or in
maybe
Switzerland,
in Florida, Miami Beach. I heard that Israel also offered him a safe haven over there. Maybe he can go to any other country like France or the UK and have a few mansions over there and live the happy life and retire happily with the American taxpayer in his bank account. I think that's basically what Zelensky is going to do. But
he is a
he's going to have
puppet,
a hard
right?
time, Trump, because Biden wants to make a mess before Trump arrives. That's what Biden is doing. They are desperate, trying to make a big mess of this war and escalate this war before Trump arrives in power.
Well,
And on that
Ukraine
note,
is.
go ahead,
Go ahead,
Jeffrey.
go ahead.
Sorry. No,
No,
go ahead.
Ukraine has been destroyed right now. All cities are completely destroyed. The population have decreased by 60%. I've seen in some podcasts that the army, the average age for the Ukrainian soldiers are 45, 40, 40, 46, even soldiers that are 60, no, 56 years old.
Listen, listen. People need to understand that 90% of whatever information that comes from the Kyiv regime out of Zelensky is BS. 90% of what he tells you, the American people, is just BS. It's nonsense. A few months ago, Zelensky said that he suffered 31,000 casualties. 31,000 casualties. That the Russians have almost 1 million casualties. But he, despite not having an active air force, despite that the Russians have a 5-1 artillery advantage, despite the fact that the Russians are throwing over 900 average FAB gliding bombs. I mean, these are powerful bombs that go everything from 500 kilograms to 3,000 kilograms of bombs that the Air Force is launching constantly over there. Despite all that, the Russians are the ones who have over 500,000 casualties, and he only have 31,000 casualties a few months ago. Now, the Secretary of State of the United States, Antony Blinken, is trying very hard for the Ukrainian army to decrease the conscription age. Right now it's in the mid-20s, and they wanted to reduce it to 18.
Like the Nazis.
Well, like
the Nazis did at the end.
like everybody, they want the young kids, the high schoolers, to go over there. And he's trying very hard because Blinken knows very well that they have a critical manpower shortage. The 31,000 that Zelensky is telling you that he only have, in reality, is over 600,000. That everybody who knows a little bit about war, everybody who knows a little bit of what's going on in a daily basis, in a monthly basis, understand that the casualties that the Russians are inflicting in the Ukrainian army are horrendous, are catastrophic. But Zelensky is going to keep lying. Oh, it's 31,000. But Blinken, who knows the reality, even though he doesn't want to say it directly, and he doesn't want to tell you the truth, Blinken knows that it's a catastrophic situation of manpower, that the casualties are horrendous for Ukraine, and he's ordering of Zelensky to decrease the recruitment age to 18. That's what Zelensky is right now resisting, because he knows that if he does that, there might be a coup against him, there might be a revolution against him, there might be insurgents against him, he might lose the grip, because that will devastate the morale of the Ukrainian society to send the young kids, 18 and 19, to war. But right now, it's a catastrophic situation.
I have two questions for you. Why the Kremlin hasn't killed Zelensky right now, and the NATO countries are willing and able to send troops to Ukraine, or the youth population, the population of NATO countries are willing to participate actively with troops on the ground in this war?
Back at the beginning of the war, Zelensky was hiding on his basement. in a bunker because he was afraid that Putin will kill him. So the prime minister of Israel at the time, not Netanyahu, but the prime minister at the time, called and talked to Putin and asked him to please not to kill Zelensky. And Putin gave him his word that he will not kill Zelensky. And after that is the only time when Zelensky got out of the bunker, got out of the basement, and began to do his international round trips, begging for money and weapons, okay? And the reason why most likely, I mean, we are just speculating here, but the reason why most likely Putin doesn't want to kill Zelensky is because Putin wants Zelensky to sign the surrendering of Ukraine. If somebody else comes, Zelensky is killed or quits or leave or whatever, somebody else goes that nobody knows and sign, oh, I'm the new president and let me sign, that might not have the same political PR weight in the international community. Because this is a puppet that Putin put over there. He's a stooge of the Russian. But Zelensky is the man of the year, the hero, the greatest comedian ever that ever sells.
I remember when the global media was saying that Putin was with cancer, sick with cancer, and he was about to die. But changing the scenario, let's move to the Middle East. What's happening right now in Syria, where Russia have a naval base there?
Yeah, before let me answer you a real fast question about what Macron and the UK. And maybe
well, you didn't ask the question about NATO sending troops,
yes,
the youth of
yes.
NATO.
They are talking, and they say it often on the press. We might do it. Send troops to the western part of Ukraine, that is the pro-European, pro-Polish area of Ukraine, the north and the west. We're going to send troops over there. And the plan, many experts said that the plan is they want to send troops over there so Putin can kill them. They want to kill their own soldiers. They want Putin to kill their soldiers. A couple thousand of French soldiers casualties, a couple thousands of British soldiers casualties, a few hundreds there, and they want Putin to kill their own soldiers, so then they can bring the whole of NATO. Oh, you see, we have been attacked by Russia, and the Article 5 of the NATO of the NATO agreement that when attack on one is attack on us. We want the United States to come now. Italy and France and Spain and Germany and everybody and Poland, everybody have to go over there now. That is their plan. That we're most likely, we know that is what they are planning. That's their conception. They want to send their soldiers over there, a small contingent, so they can be killed. They want to kill
use that as an excuse to
so then they have the excuse
patriotism
to come with a conventional war. Now, what is going on in Syria? This is a very, very extremely important issue, what is going on in Syria. Let me start with this. 10% of the population in Syria are Christians.
Catholics,
Orthodox, Greek Orthodox. I mean, a lot.
Well, the oldest one in the world, right?
They are Maronites over there. There are Catholics. They are Orthodox, Russian Orthodox Greeks. They are 10% of the population are Christians. They are in the government of Syria is Alawite. The Alawites is an exemption of the Shia Muslims. And that's what the Bashar al-Assad is. He's an Alawite, and his father was an Alawite. The Christians are with Bashar al-Assad. They are all with them. 99% of all Christians are supporting the Syrian government. And they are in a coalition with the Alawite government. Why? Because there are Christian generals, there are Christian ministers, there are Christian members of the government, and the only ones defending the Christians in the country is the government. You remove the government of Syria, you remove the Syrian army, and most of those Christians will be massacred.
Is what happened in Iraq, right? With 3 million
It's
of
what
Christians
happened in Iraq, and it's what happened in Syria too. Aleppo and many other cities, they were either directly or indirectly under the control of the Islamic State back in 2015 and 2016. And they were committing a massacre of Christians over there. They were being crucified literally as a mockery of Jesus. They crucify people, they decapitate people. There are horrible images of hundreds of people into a big hole in the ground and then killed in the most savage way. They were tortured. And these savages, that's what they are going to do. If the Syrian government falls, it's going to be a genocide of Christians and also obviously of the Alawites and also of the Shia in Syria.
So it is not true that the people in Syria wants a change of government, that they want democracy, and the Arab Spring was a base movement.
Listen, people need to understand something. Africa, Middle East, everything is religion. Okay, everything is religion, and religions dictate the policy. It's like the tribe. It's like the what unifies people. There is nothing more important than the religion, because the religion gives you in what army you are, in what side you are. Okay, the only people who wants to destroy the Al-Assad government in Syria are the Sunnis, the Sunni Muslims. That's it. The Sunni Muslims, they are under the influence of Saudi Arabia. They are under the influence of the nationalist Muslim Sunni government of Turkey, of Erdogan. And the Sunni Muslims, they want to kill and destroy all the Shia Muslims, all the Alawites, and all the Christians. They are jihadis. They are the Islamic State. And this group that just attacked a few days ago and took Aleppo, this group is an exception of Al-Qaeda. Bin Laden, the one who killed 3,000 Americans, who attack us, who destroy us. This group, these so-called freedom fighters.
30,000, not 30,000.
There are 30,000 of them. This group of freedom fighters, of rebels, like CNN called them, they are nothing but terrorists. They are nothing but Islamic genocide, fanatic, Sunni, jihadis. An exception. They were part of Al-Qaeda. And right now they are part too of, they are members, of course, that are former members of the of even the Islamic State. So you need to understand that. That is very, very important, because people don't understand what is really going on. They are not over there to bring democracy or to bring or to bring gay marriage or to bring a liberal government or whatever. That's absolute nonsense. They are over there to bring Sharia law. They are over there to create a Sunni Muslim state. That's it. HTS is their name. And this is the important thing. This is what people don't understand. Everything is connected. Everything is connected with Russia, and everything is connected with Ukraine. These people, these 30,000 jihadis, extremists, fanatic, Muslim Sunni fanatics, they were trained and equipped in Turkey by the government of Erdogan, by the Turkish government. There is no question about that. They were in Turkey territory at the other side of the border, getting ready, getting equipped, getting weapons, getting training, getting gas and getting equipment and getting trucks and getting air defenses and everything in Turkey. And there is absolutely no question that Turkey did not do this by its own. It did it with the Biden administration, the Biden regime backup. So this is what's going on. Biden, the United States of America, Biden gave green light, gave approval, and maybe money too, and maybe resources too, to Erdogan in Turkey to arm and equip ex-Al-Qaeda people. The same Al-Qaeda that killed 3,000 Americans.
Turkey is part of NATO, right? Turkey is a member of NATO.
Is member of NATO. And this is the deal. The United States is helping right now jihadist terrorists, Muslim extremists. That's it. And you see people say, that's impossible. We are at war with them. No, the United States is not at war with these jihadists. The United States is not at war with them. Why? Because Biden, out of his ideology and out of his mind, he hates the government of Bashar al-Assad and the Christians that form part of that government, the 10% of the population, a lot more than he hates the ex-Al-Qaeda people of HTS right now, of this terrorist jihadist organization. And why is that? Because the great ally of Bashar al-Assad is Russia. And in the mind of Biden, I mean, when I say Biden, I said Obama, because I'm sure Obama is the one moving
the puppet master,
the puppeteer and the puppet, okay? So in the mind of Obama, if he hurts the government of Syria and the 10% Christians that are supporting it, he's hurting Russia. He is kicking out Russia out of Syria, and the Russians have been there. They have an Air Force contingent over there. They have a Navy base over there. And basically what they want to do, what Biden wants to do, and his handlers, is arming and supporting these 30,000 jihadists, terrorists, extremists, Muslim fanatics, Sunni, so they can fight against the Shia, they can fight against the Alawite, they can fight against the Christians, and against the Russians. So Russia is forced to take resources out of Ukraine and send them to Syria. They want to make Russia weaker in Ukraine, to make difficult the purpose of and the mission of President Trump of creating peace in Ukraine.
So NATO has opened two fronts.
This is all a great plan of Biden. Let's go and attack the Russians and the government in Syria, the Syrian government in Syria. So Russia take air force and resources and missiles out of Ukraine. So now Zelensky can attack the Russians in Ukraine and be stronger. That is the whole purpose and the whole plan.
So NATO have two fronts against Russia.
They have
Syria
three.
And Ukraine.
They have three. They have Georgia too.
Oh, Georgia
yes. Too.
There is a revolution there, right?
There is another soft coup. And I don't know, some of you who have been on my class of soft coup and color revolution. Yeah. Right now, we are living another attempt of soft coup, of a color revolution in Georgia. And this is just tragic. I mean, this is so tragic. It's almost laughable. It's almost funny, but it's so tragic that cannot be funny. There were elections in Georgia, clean elections, and the prime minister, the current prime minister, won the elections. But he wants good relationship with Russia. That's it. He doesn't want a war with Russia. So the European Union and Biden said, we don't like you. We don't like you. But we won the election. I don't care that you won the election. I don't care about the democratic system. You want peace with Russia, and we do not like you because you want peace with Russia. We want somebody over there who hates Russia as prime minister. So basically what Biden is doing, he's nullifying the elections that just happened recently in Georgia because won the wrong person. And now what he's doing, he's sending hundreds of millions of dollars to the pro-Western mobs to the opposition parties in Georgia. So they do a soft coup. They do
That's what
general
happened.
strikes, they attack the police, they attack the army, they occupy the buildings of the government to hopefully force the prime minister to flee the country. That's exactly what they did in Ukraine in 2014. A soft coup, color revolution, an insurrection, an insurrection. That's basically what Biden is funding and doing in Georgia. An insurrection, a soft coup, a color revolution to change, for regime change.
And something similar is happening in Romania as well, right?
In Romania,
it's just one after the other, and it's so obvious. It's obvious because it's the same scheme, the same formula.
So, Ronnie, we are really
in Romania won the candidate for president that wants to have good relationships with Russia and wants to avoid a war with Russia.
So basically, we're doing a proxy war against Russia.
Yes, everywhere. Everywhere. But in Romania, this is what happened. This guy who wants to have good relationship with Russia won the elections just a few weeks ago, actually a few days ago. Right. And guess what? The Supreme Court just nullified those elections. The Supreme Court, obviously, under pressure from the United States and under pressure from the UK, under pressure from the European Union, just nullified those elections because they said that there was too much Russian influence.
Got it.
First time ever, the Supreme Court of Romania nullified and canceled an election that were clearly and obviously won by the candidate that Biden don't want. Again,
so basically, do you see all of this ending in somewhat a peaceful and quick way when Trump comes into office? Because I know he spoke about ending the conflict. He was specifically
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. Let's hope so, because
in your experience, do you see a path towards that?
Yes. Stop the soft coup in Georgia, stop meddling in Romania, and cut the money for Ukraine. That's it. And stop, obviously, the money for the Al-Qaeda people.
Well, let's hope Trump listens to you, because I'm actually...
Stop the money for these 30,000 people that are former Al-Qaeda, former Islamic State, that are jihadis, Sunni fanatics, jihadis,
right?
Islamists. Just cut the money for them. Stop messing with Romania. Stop messing with Georgia. Cut the money to Zelensky. Tell Zelensky, hey, your 260 billion is enough. No more. Enough.
I really hope you're right that it's that easy to end, because I, for one, don't want us to end up in a World War III. And from what it sounds like, that's what Biden wants to be his legacy. He wants to walk out of the White House. He wants to walk out of the White House, leaving us World War III, the same way James Buchanan left the White House, leaving us the Civil War. So
let's see what happened. I have hope, because remember, in 1 year of Trump, is going to be Vice President Vance, and his vision is very, very good. He understands all this that I'm telling you. Tulsi Gabbard is in that year too. She understands this. She's not a warmonger. She's going to be the Director of National Intelligence. Elon Musk also understands this. Elon Musk is not a warmonger, and he also has the ear of President Trump. The problem is, in the other side, in the other ear, he has people like Sebastian Gorka, that is a neocon, globalist, and Lindsey Graham, who is a neocon, warmonger, globalist, and maybe other people in his administration that are also globalists and neocons. So that is the problem. What ear is going to Trump listen? I hope and I pray that he listens to the ear where Elon Musk is, and Tulsi Gabbard is, and Vice President Vance is. But right now, it's going to be a fight for the soul and mind of President Trump. The paleo-conservative who understand all this that I'm saying, and the neocon globalist that only wants to do war and no ending meddling in other countries.
So the European Union should wait for millions of refugees coming from Syria again. And also, Ron, who is paying the salaries of all these 30,000 freedom fighters in Syria?
Turkey and us.
And the salaries between 2,000 and 3,000 per month, right?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's a little bit less than that. Remember, these people live in a poor area. Some of them just get very little money, but all the resources, all the weapons, all the gas, all the bullets, all the equipment, all the communications, the intelligence, the air defenses are coming from Turkey, from Erdogan, and from us, because we are the one who gave them the green light. And I'm sure that some CIA money, I'm sure that some intelligence money made it over there. So I'm sure that we are paying Al Qaeda. Guys, let's go to finish here right now. It has been a fantastic conversation.
It's really informative, Ronnie. Every time you start speaking about these subjects, I learned so much. So I want to thank you for that, because, like I said when I first asked you the question, you are a incredible source of information, because you understand all these intricacies so well. So thank you, because you're bringing that to the public and in a way that it's easy for us to understand, because sometimes you hear all these politicians talking about, the per capita, blah, 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 and I get lost. So thank you, Ronnie. De verdad que sí. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. Jeffrey, last words.
Well, we didn't talk about Biden pardons that are so wide and so broad that he even is perhaps gonna pardon Fauci and all his family members.
I think it was just an embarrassment, because he said many times that he would not pardon anyone, and all the Democrats say, "Oh, we have the high ground, the moral high ground." And at the end, it was BS. He pardoned him, and not only he pardoned him, he in his letter explaining his pardon, he said that it was a political prosecution. Oh my God! So are you telling us that your DOJ is a political entity that do political, ideological prosecution, just like Donald Trump have been saying for the last 3-4 years?
Might as well have signed that letter saying Trump was right.
Trump was right. Thank you for the confession.
He's gonna pardon himself. I believe he's gonna pardon himself at the end before leaving.
Who knows? Well, let's hope that I hear a theory somewhere. Hopefully, it's not true. Let's see. But some people, some most extremist people in the Democratic Party, is saying that he might quit, that Biden might renounce the presidency in the last days, by, I don't know, 15 January or something like that. So Kamala can be the president for 3 or 4 days, and then Kamala can pardon him. Let's see. Hopefully that will not happen, but it's a hypothesis, and intelligence analysts, we need to study all hypotheses.
Well, the Hispanics in the United States must save this beautiful country. I think
we just took a big first step, Jeffrey. We just took a big first step, and it's venues like this that I think if we continue to do it, we're going to be able to bring that voice that they don't have right now in the mainstream media in Spanish that we have in this country.
Common sense.
That it's basically the propaganda machine of the Democratic Party and the socialists, because it's not the Democratic Party anymore. It's the Socialist Party of America. It's that simple.
Yeah, I hope the Democrat Party goes back to his roots, that the conservative party, the party that Bobby Kennedy wants to represent, but he wasn't allowed.
Right.
We'll see.
He did not get the permission from the establishment. Basically, that's it. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us today. Mario, Jeffrey, thank you very much for your contribution. And for everybody who's listening to us, coast to coast in the United States, Hispanic or not, please subscribe to our channel. Please subscribe, give us a like, and be alert, because we will keep with these videos. Remember, you want to listen and you want to hear to the conservative voice in the United States, come to Conservative Hispanic Network. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Everybody have a good night. Thank you very much. And
have a great night, guys.
Best regards, always. Thank you.
Thanks.